Howdy folks, this morning's soap's brought to you by Jim from Yulay, the soap of the gods. This one here is Vanilla Oak Blonde. Show what it looks like inside. This comes in a 2-ounce variety, and this comes in a trio. There's 3 in a pack, 2-ounce size in each one of them. Got the almond block, no rubber band, unscented witch hazel that's mentholated, and decided to follow up this morning with Quorum Silver for the aftershave. And off camera I'll still be using the Shaven Sailor beard oil. I was going to use this yesterday, but didn't shave yesterday. Ran into a slight problem with my head. It was causing me great pain. I had a pretty bad headache. Anyway, this is a feather poplar. Decided to shave with it. Seen Randy's giveaway, the winner, with a feather poplar as well as 100 blades Derby Premium. And also noticed that Mark from Friendship Shaving had did a video with a feather poplar, so I thought, why not? I was already kind of leaning this direction with this particular shaver anyway. And it has a feather blade in it, if you couldn't tell when I opened it up there. This particular shaver is falls in the inexpensive line. Italian Barber has it on sale for about $15. And that might be the cheapest going price. I didn't check eBay, but that seems to be about as cheap as you can usually get it without like a Black Friday sale or something of the sort. I have seen it go as low as $10. Cube is still hanging in there from the Preshave, as you can tell. At the rate that it's going right now, we'll see if it lasts till the end of November. Got the lather whipped up here in a wooden bowl from Distinctive Goat. That's what the lather looks like there on the inside of the bowl. Got it whipped up with a horsehair brush. I got this one here from eBay a while back. Haven't been able to find it again since then. Go ahead and get lathered up here. Feather poplar, it's you can tell by the looks of the handle there, it's a little lengthy. It's about 4.5 inches in length, and the balance point on this particular shaver seems to be pretty close to where the knob is at right there. So it's right about there. Most of the weight, in other words, is up here. And it's not going to win any beauty pageants, as you can tell. It doesn't look real bad by any means, but as it goes for the finish on the metal, I've seen some better, but as inexpensive this is, I guess you might say it does do the job. Now this paired with a feather blade, for me, my experience has been that it's relatively mild. You can feel that feather blade on during the pass, but it's not, how can you say, alarming by any means. I think most would consider this a mild shaver, and I understand when people consider this a beginner's or starter shaver, and it's more than just one reason in particular, in that the price point puts it at down in an area where somebody's unsure about the shaver or anything like that, that they're not out a whole lot of money if it doesn't work out for them. So it is an inexpensive tool, if you will, to give it a try to see if you like it or not, especially if you're just looking for a daily drive or just trying to get your shave on. For me, this is a pretty inexpensive start, right around the $15 mark. And as goes for the feather blades. Now for me, my experience with feather blades depends on the shaver, and with this particular shaver, it does rather well. Like I say, you can feel the blade, but you're feeling the blade on the skin as it goes through the whiskers. It's not a real abrasive feeling. Not any different than other shavers I've had, in other words. Now, as it goes for how many shaves can you get with a feather blade, that is definitely your mileage may vary. But I have a tendency to most of my blades are one and done. This is one of the exceptions when it comes to how many shaves do I get with a blade. And this week being I guess you might call it a chaotic week, I was planning on shaving with a DE anyway, so this might be a good time to test my theory of whether you can stretch it to 5 or not. And we'll base the thought process there. With a mild shaver like this, using a feather blade, I'm going to assume you can get 5 shaves with the feather blade. Found on Amazon, which is not always the cheapest, but it just happened to work out this way this time. At least a quick look on the internet. I found a place there on Amazon that will sell you 50 blades for about $11.77. So if you make the numbers a little bit easier to work with, you double that, you got 100 blades. Divide that with your 5 shaves, and it figures out to be in 4.7 cents. So in other words, just round it up to 5 cents a shave if you're getting 5 shaves with a feather blade. So 5 cents is not too terribly bad. Can't complain too much. That's pretty darn cheap. But that's just something, a point of reference to work with. Because like I say, your mileage may vary. Your beard may be not near as tough as mine on a razor, and you actually may get more shaves than that. There are some folks that really stretch out their DE blades to a good number of shaves per blade, much more than 5. For me, when you just talk about at 5 cents, that's pretty inexpensive. So I don't push the issue, I guess you might say. I don't recall off the top of my head how much this thing weighs. It's not real heavy by any means. But it definitely, I feel like, will give you at least a sociably acceptable shave. And if you want to push for the BBS, I think it'll probably get you there. Depending on where you're at with your technique. If you're just starting out, in other words, it'll take you a moment to get used to this kind of shaver, what it takes to get a BBS, if that's what you're striving for. For me, smooth and comfortable is what I'm looking for. I'd have to say though, for me it's a pretty smooth shaver. An easy one to shave with for me. The scent of this soap, the Vanilla Oak Blonde, wife and I were trying to put our finger on where this scent, what we thought it smelled like. It smelled very familiar to me, but I'm not able to put my finger on where I remember smelling this scent. And my wife seemed to think that it was a polo scent. It could be for something very similar to that, to a polo. But your nose might smell something totally different. But it is a very nice scent. This shaver's not a bad one to start out with, in my opinion. And I say start out with because of the price point. It could be somebody's daily shaver without a problem. And if for some reason or another, it comes with some feather blades with it, so you can kind of test it out, see if it's going to work for you. And it may benefit somebody that's been shaving a little while. Here it is. So in other words, it comes in a case like this. It may benefit somebody that's been shaving for a little while, looking for a mild shaver, but not wanting something that's going to break the bank. This one here might fit the bill, especially if you're looking for something with a longer handle. I say it is designed to work with a feather blade, and it's not aggressive in my opinion. I would set it up as the mild side of things, and that would really depend. That's even subject to, you know, I guess you might say to the user. Some may consider it more on the upper end of the mild. Maybe. I can understand, especially if somebody's just now starting out to shave. I could understand somebody, you know, pushing it further on up because of the blade feel. And it's to me that you can feel the blade, but it doesn't feel aggressive in my opinion. It just feels like it's just cutting whiskers, that's all. But there are shavers out there that will shave with less of the blade feel, but at a different price point. Now Feather does make some shavers, really nice shavers, at a much different price point. Much higher, an easy $200 range, in other words, somewhere in there. I don't look at those too much. They're nice looking shavers. You know, you can't, for me, you just can't hardly knock them for their design, the way they look. They look really nice. Just at that price point for me, it puts it out of the range that where I'm willing to spend any kind of money on. As it goes for keeping it clean, it doesn't take a whole lot. Water and wiping it on a soft cloth, Q-tip, you'll be clean in no time. That's what it looks like here on the inside after the shave is done. It's the blade fits right in there nice and snug. No problem with blade alignment. You just put it in there, tighten it up, and it's good to go. Pretty easy to use. Definitely for, I guess you might say, a hectic week that this is going to be. And no other reason than it's been a while since I used this aftershave, and I was wanting to use it yesterday, but here it is on Monday. This is the aftershave I decided to go with. And no, it does not have no, it didn't come close to being the same scent at all. This is just one of those deals where I wanted to use this soap and I want that aftershave. I have the set on this one here. I have the cologne and the aftershave. For me, I like this scent. Matter of fact, when my wife and I, we first met, she she's the one that introduced me to this sort of aftershave and cologne. And when I first got it, I was unsure what to think about it. Wasn't really into that sort of thing at the time. Yeah, she's, she got me introduced into all this. It's just been over the years, that's all. I had, see, I've got no stinging, no irritation. My face is still cooling down right now, which is great. Really nice shave. Like I said, in case I didn't make it real clear, this comes in a trio. So in other words, you're not going to be able to get this by itself. It comes in a 3-pack of three different scents. See, what is it? Trying to remember all three of them. I think one of them is something along the, it's not caramel apple, but vanilla apple maybe, I can't remember. And then there's pumpkin smash, and then there's this one here. But anyhow, I'll put a link down below for my fuzzy memory. I took a lot of medication yesterday trying to make that headache go away. I had a great shave. I'll be shaving with this one at least through Wednesday, and the idea is on Wednesday morning to have another shave with this, just to let you know how the blade is working out for me. And until then, hope everybody's doing well. Smooth shaves to you, and stay safe.